Hello, welcome to this 1 hour Hatha class. This class starts in a seated position. Take a block and put it beneath your sit bones. Find yourself in a comfortable position with your legs folded if you can. I rest my hands on my thighs, sit up tall. If you can't cross your legs, you can also just put them out in front of you. Find a comfortable way to sit. You do whatever is comfortable for you. And closing our eyes, starting to settle into our breath, feeling the texture of the air as it passes through the nostrils, into the throat, into the tummy maybe, and up out through the throat, through the nostrils. Just ground down through the weight of your legs pressing into the ground, your sit bones. Tune into the feeling of heaviness, connection to the earth, to your mat. And start to settle into how your body feels today. Bringing the attention inwards. You're going to gently set an intention for your practice today, putting the hands in prayer position. If you like to set an intention, whatever it may be. And then gently open the eyes. We're going to take one hand out, take the index finger, look at it and take it to the nose. Then close your eyes, take it away from the nose and bring it back to the nose with your eyes closed. It's just a little game on proprioception, finding the nose with the index finger through space. You can make it harder by keeping your eyes closed. Turn the head to the left or right and then turn it back to center and retouch the nose with the index finger. Try it with the left hand. Closing the eyes, bring the finger to the nose, take it away, turn the head to the left, bring the head back central, draw the index finger back to the nose and take it away. Sometimes we find the nose with the fingertip, and sometimes we don't. But finding our awareness here. Keep your eyes open now. Let's start rotating our hands, warming up our wrists. Draw big circles with the fingers and the hands. Taking note, turning the other way. How smooth are your wrist joints? How creaky? Wiggle your fingers, hands on shoulders. Let's draw some circles with our elbows. I like to draw them a little bit in front of my body, a little bit out to the side. Move as slowly and as cautiously as you can. Keep your breath nice and steady. I think already the breath will have changed. I like to do a bit of backstroke here, bringing in the shoulder joint. The ribs will open slightly as we roll the joint backwards. One at a time, left and then right. Then let's do our necks. Let's warm up our necks today. Drop the chin towards the chest. Nice smooth inhale, smooth exhale. Inhale back to center. Take the right ear to right shoulder. And you can move your left arm out away from the body and flick the hand up towards the sky for a nice stretch. Stretching from behind the ear, through the neck, to the shoulder. Back to central. Drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. And take the right arm out and flick up the hand to create a little bit of tension. If you like it, just a bit more tension this way. And back to center. And slowly take the head back. Just be comfortable here. You don't need to go really far. Stretching the front of the throat. Inhale back to center. And then we're going to do some semicircles along the bottom part of the shoulders. I mean the bottom part. I imagine like the bottom part of the moon, a semicircle. That's how I visualize this. Kind of lower neck rolls, so not coming over the back of the neck. If you were sat on a block, remove your block, come round to be on all fours or be in table. Stack your joints, your wrists beneath your elbows, elbows beneath your shoulders, knees beneath hips. Inhale, drop the tummy, look forward, tip the tailbone up. Exhale, curl round. Inhale, drop the tummy and gaze forward. Exhale, round and push away from the ground. Bring the head inwards. Inhale, open up through that chest, the front of the collarbones. Exhale, draw it inwards. Inhale, gazing forwards. Exhale, curve inwards. Really squeeze the navel towards the spine at the end of the exhale. Come back to neutral. Take your hands, one handprint in front. Tuck your toes and lift up into downward dog. It's your first downward dog. You're going to want to bicycle your legs. Bring any movement that you need to into the thighs, the knees, the hips. Take your mind around the body. What feels tight today? Keep your fingers spread nice and wide so that you've got a great base for your weight distribution in your hands. And try and keep the weight away from the heel of the hands. Lower gently to your knees, untuck your toes and sink your bum back to your heels for an extended child's pose, leaving the hands in front. Keep the forearms lifted from the mat and press into the mat with the hands. Keeps the shoulders active, stretching through the whole of the back. On your inhales here, you'll feel the breath move into the side of the body and the top of the back. Cross right hand over left, walk your left hand off the mat to the left, and then stack your right hand on top of it. And you'll feel a different stretch coming from the shoulder down to the lower back. Cross the right hand over the mat, off the mat to the right, and stack your left hand on top. So this sort of back stretch, a little bit of a side bend in this extended handed child's pose. Nice little warm up. Feel the breath throughout the back. Inhale yourself back up, tuck the toes and come on into plank. Knees can be up or down. Nice strong through the shoulders, the back. Lower to Ashtangasana. This is 8-limbed pose. Knees, chest and chin are on the mat. Elbows are close to the body. Toes are pressing in. Inhale to low cobra. And it's a good time to see how strong the back is. Raise the hands, tent the hands. Stay long through the back of the neck. Keep length through the spine. Gentle breathing. Exhale to tuck the toes, plant the hands and peel yourself back for downward dog. Stretching back here. Once again, finding length through the back of the legs, as if you're going to put the heels onto the mat. Perhaps they meet. On an exhale, start walking towards the front of the mat slowly. Take as many steps as you need. Stay dangling at the front of the mat. Wrap one hand on the inside of the elbow and the other hand on the other. And just let your shoulders relax, head relaxes. On your inhale, bend your knees and slowly come on up to stand. Exhale the hands to your heart. And we'll just make sure we're comfy. Take a pause. Inhale, arms reach nice and long. Exhale, hinge at your hips, come to Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway with a nice strong back. Exhale, right foot steps back, knee drops, arms reach for low lunge. Exhale the hands to the mat and step back for downward dog. On an inhale, come to plank, knees can be up or down. And then lower, knees, chest, chin. Inhale for low cobra. Exhale, peel yourself back for downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forwards for low lunge. Drop the left knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. Exhale the hands to the mat. Step forwards. And soften the knees. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Surya Namaskar. We'll do the left side. Inhale, reach nice and tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips with a nice strong back. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, left leg steps back. Reach up for low lunge on an inhale. Exhale, put the hands down, step back into downward dog. Inhale, chest forward for plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, release the head, tuck the toes, and peel yourself back for downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it forwards for low lunge. Reach up through your arms, nice and tall. Exhale the arms to the mat. Tuck the back toes and step forwards. Soften the knees, inhale all the way up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Second round, a little bit quicker this time of this sun salutation. Inhale, arms reach nice and high. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale halfway with a nice strong flat back. Exhale, right foot steps. Inhale for low lunge. Exhale the hands to the mat and step back into downward dog. Inhale the chest forward for plank and exhale knees, chest, chin. Inhale for low cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forwards. Inhale for low lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, step forwards. Soften the knees, inhale all the way up and exhale the hands to heart. If it feels a bit quick, just do your best. Inhale, arms reach nice and tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale halfway with a nice flat back. Exhale, left leg steps. Inhale for low lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat, downward dog. Inhale the chest forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it forwards, low lunge. Inhale to reach. Exhale the hands to the mat, tuck the back toes and step forwards. Soften the knees, inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart. A little bit quicker on the second one, just to get our circulation moving, get our breathing moving a bit quicker. Come to the front of the mat and find Tadasana, ground down through your feet. Stand up tall, roll the shoulders open. The camera work, pretty good on my first video here. We don't need to see the head. Wherever you're at, just find your grounding into the earth, even if you're on the second floor. Just visualize that grounding. Inhale the arms to a T. And we're going to take a side bend. Take the right hand up. Look at it if it's comfortable on the neck. Left hand comes to the side of the thigh. Inhale, central. Exhale, right hand to the thigh. Left hand reaches up. Try not to crunch down on your ribs, so you stay long through the spine, even in a side bend. Release the arms to the side. Shift your weight into your left leg and raise your right towards you. Interlace the fingers on the shin and find your drishti, a single point to look at in front of you, steady. Stay tall through the spine. Try not to lean in towards the leg. Take your left hand to your hip and your right hand to the toe, the big toe. Extend that leg in front of you. Try and stay tall and try and draw your shoulder back in line with the left shoulder, because the right shoulder is going to reach forward with your leg. So try and create a little bit more levelness. Rebend the leg, draw it towards you, and this time take your left hand onto the outside edge of the right foot. Twist to the right, taking your right hand behind you with a straight arm, and extend your leg away from you. Steady gaze, steady balance. Softly rebend the leg, bring everything to center and gently place it down. Shift the weight into the right leg. Ground down and gently lift the left one towards you and interlace the fingers on the shin. Gazing at something fixed. Pick a little dot on the wall or a mark on the wall in front of you. Stay tall through your spine here as we move the right hand to the right hip. Left hand goes for the big toe. Really hold on to that toe and extend the leg away from you. This is hand to toe. And we always get this conflict with that shoulder trying to come forwards, and we try to want to bring it back so it's in line with the right shoulder. Rebend the knee and get ready to twist. Take your right hand to the outside edge of the foot. Turn your left hand behind you, turning as if we're going to spin the front of our chest to the left. And you don't have to spin far, you don't have to twist deep. Stay steady. Knees can be bent in that, you don't have to get them straight. Gently release your pose and come to stand at the front of the mat. Inhale, arms reach nice and tall. And we're going to exhale into Warrior 3. And I know I had a lot of trouble with this balance. So start by lifting up through the arms and gently shift the weight into the right leg and raise the left one behind you. Keep the ankle flexed, the leg is straight. We're trying to balance on our right leg. As you can see, I have no end of trouble. I try putting my hands in prayer position because this is a little bit easier to balance with. The full pose is with the arms extended forward in front of the head, and if you've got that today, then you hold your Warrior 3. You can also utilize blocks, which I turn to here because this side isn't working for me. Try and lift from the inside of the thigh. That tries to keep the hips level. Step the left leg back for high lunge. Inhale, add the arms, and you'll notice I'm dipping the knee. So if you dip your knee, try and put your hands on your lower back and extend your tailbone as if it's going to reach down to the ground. Draw the navel in, and then add the arms when you re-stretch the back leg. We're trying to keep the spine not in a deep curve here. The straighter we keep it, the more of a stretch we get from the tummy into the top of the thigh. The front knee, it's best to be over the ankle. Here I look a little bit funny. We're going to exhale the hands to the heart and do a twist to the right, taking left elbow to right knee. Gazing over with a prayer twist. Stack the hands, elbows are in line. Inhale, back through center, hands on hip. Soften the front knee and take a nice step to the front of the mat. We're going to switch sides, so let's find Warrior 3 on the left side. Ground down through your left leg, arms reach. Exhale, release the right leg, hinge, levering forwards, and at the same time you raise that back leg behind you. Keep the ankle flexed. Lift from the inner thigh. Use your blocks if you need to. Try prayer position if you're very wobbly. And if the arms reach forwards beyond the head, all good. Step back into high lunge. Bend that knee to stretch that front of the abdomen into the thigh and lengthen that tailbone. I sometimes check my hips, making sure they are level. Place your hands on your hips and try and bring them so that they are level with the front of the mat. We want to be facing forwards, not opening to the side. Arms reach and palms are facing together in high lunge. Lots of space between the ears and the tops of the shoulders. No hunching. Exhale, lean forward and perform your twist. Turning to the left, right elbow goes to the knee. Elbows are sort of in line in an ideal way. They might not be, but that's the end aim. Inhale back to center, hands on hips, and gently step to the front of the mat. Inhale, the arms reach nice and tall. Exhale, find chair pose, sitting back. Check if your knees stick too far forwards. You want to be able to see your toes. Your hands can be in prayer or they can be extended forwards. We'll all bring our hands to prayer and exhale to twist to the left. Take the right elbow to the left knee. Gaze beyond the hands that are stacked in front of you. Keep space, even in a twist, in the body, in the torso. Inhale through center and exhale, take it to the right side, taking left elbow to right knee. Inhale to center, exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Let the legs relax a little bit. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We've got warrior one coming up here, hands on hips. We're going to lift the left leg, step it back for warrior one. Front foot faces forward and the knee is over the ankle, not beyond it. Back foot ground down with your back foot at about 45 degrees across the mat, pointing forwards. Arms reach nice and tall. Gaze again at a fixed point. Notice the breathing, how it changes in something like a warrior pose. Exhale the hands to the hips and we're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to find pyramid pose. I prefer a shorter stance so you can see I step forwards, leave the front foot where it is and just bring your back foot in a bit. The feet are the same as warrior one in that they are positioned in the same angles. Length of stance can change though to suit you. Put your hands behind you in either reverse prayer or fist to fist, and if they don't meet you can just place them at the lower back, but we're doing that to open the front of the chest up. Stand up nice and tall, inhale, and then exhale, begin to hinge from the hips, coming forwards, gazing at the big toe of the right foot. You can have the blocks either side of you because this can be an intense stretch. And if it is for you and that front leg isn't liking it, the back's not liking it, put the blocks down so that your hands can reach to it and without rounding the shoulders. So we want to put some weight in the blocks but stay long through the spine. Let's just take some of the weight out of that front leg stretch because it can be quite intense in pyramid. Which can be nice or it cannot be nice, it depends. See how you feel in pyramid pose. Looking at the toes still. If you've got the flexibility in the legs and they're opening up, let your hands go to the mat. See if you get a little bit deeper. We work with increments, so if you're still on a block, don't worry about it. We're going to come out of it now. So we soften the front knee to come out and inhale all the way up. Take right hand, put it on right hip. Left hand reaches tall. Exhale to twist your pyramid, keeping the front leg straight. Reach for a block. It can be on the left side of the foot or the right side of the foot. Twisting however deeply as you can and want to. If you want to add the right hand, reach it up to the sky. Stay nice and long through the spine. Inhale, come back to center and come on up to stand. Bring the feet together at the front of the mat. I just shuffle around a bit. Some of those holds, when they go on for a long time, you need a little bit of a shuffle sometimes. Take the right foot back for warrior one. Left foot in front, right foot behind. Bend the front knee. Don't send it beyond the ankle. Inhale, add the arms. You'll notice, like high lunge, this is another pose where our hips are facing forwards to the front of the mat. We aren't opening out to the side, and that's why our feet in these poses tend to face forwards or just off forwards. I'm shuffling forwards for pyramid. Straighten your front leg. Bring your arms behind you. Hands meet at the back. Exhale to hinge. Gazing once again at the big toe. Use your blocks if you need to or want to. Finding pyramid here. I find pyramid a very stilling pose. You can add a micro bend in your front knee if you feel like you overextend that knee joint and there's too much weight on it. You put this tiny little bend in it just to protect the joint a little bit. See how it feels for you. If your hamstrings and your hips are comfortable, perhaps you get a little bit deeper and you can take your hands to the mat. Bend the front knee and inhale to rise. We're going to set up to revolve this pyramid, which ends up being called revolved triangle. But we're going to be twisting. So get your block ready if you want it on the inside or the outside of the foot. Inhale, right arm reaches. Exhale, take it down towards the block to twist. Gazing to the left. It's the left. Take the left hand and you can take it up or leave it on the hip. It's a bit of a balance also, so you're working with balance here too. Just find your pose here. Big stretch for the outer hip. Inhale, look back at the foot, bend the knee, and we'll come on up to stand and step to the front of the mat. You can shake your hands, shake your legs a little bit. Coming to the side of the mat, long ways along the mat now, we're finding warrior two. Taking left foot back, right foot stays at the front. Find warrior two. The front heel leads to the back arch. Think of a long line between the two, connecting them. Arms pull out to a T, and imagine your hands are being pulled apart by two ropes. Lots of strength in the arms and the shoulders. Gaze over your front hand, the right hand, over the fingertips. On an exhale, reverse the warrior, and you get this stretch through the right ribs. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, right elbow to right knee. Right elbow to right knee. Yeah, that's correct. Side angle. The left arm's reaching up to the sky. Try and keep it long through the back of the neck. So keep reaching away with the head. If you're comfortable, you can look up to your hand. You can gaze just straight ahead also. Although I've put my elbow to my knee, I'm not really resting. Still using all the muscles in the core. Inhale to come on up. Feet briefly to parallel, and then find warrior two on the left side. So take your toes to point to the back of the mat, switching the feet over. Virabhadrasana 2. Find your pose here. Staying tall through the spine, from the pelvis up to the top of the head. Gazing over your left fingers. Steady inhales and steady exhales. On your next exhale, reverse it, taking that front hand up and behind. Inhale to warrior two, exhale, left elbow to left knee, and reach up through that top hand. Only gaze up at the hand if it's comfortable on your neck. but stay long through the neck. And you'll feel this big stretch from the back foot through the hip, up through the armpit and up through the top of that hand. Don't collapse in your pose. It's very tempting to let everything lean in, but we're not collapsing. Inhale back to central, feet to parallel, hands to hips, roll your shoulders back here, stand nice and tall in this wide-legged stance. If you've got a block nearby, try and place it in front of you, a couple of feet away from where your feet are in front in the center. Inhale tall, exhale to hinge over this block and pop your hands to the block. Try and park it in a place so that it's right beneath your shoulders. So everything is sort of stacked on this block. If you don't need a block, put your hands on the ground, but the block at a set level for you is good. You find your stance. It will depend on how long and stretched out your hamstrings are. Those of you that do like to go deeper in this wide-legged forward fold, do. You can even take your head to the mat or the ground. Keep using your hands though. Just see how much your hamstrings and your inner thighs will release in this pose. Or bring the block back, park it beneath the hands, stay long through the spine. Inhale here and shift the weight into your right hand. Left hand reaches and we twist to the left. Reach that hand up to the sky and turn from the waist. Bring that hand back to center. Inhale, stay long. Exhale to twist to the right. A nice twist from above the navel and up. Inhale back through center. And then we're going to heel toe the feet towards one another. Oh no, we're not. Sorry, ignore me. We're going to come for Skandasana. We're going to come down onto the right foot. Use your hands as much as you need to. The left heel is pushing into the ground like an anchor and the feet point up to the sky. I'm on the ball of the right foot and the feet, the toes of the right foot are in line with the knee and they both point in the same direction. If you balance on your fingertips, perhaps you can lift your fingertips away from the ground and pop your hands into prayer position. It is a balance. And if you think we haven't got much touching the ground, just the heel and the ball of the right foot. Stay tall through your spine. Put your hands down and walk slowly over. Lift the hips up to the sky. Walk slowly over to the left side to try Skandasana on this side. And do it cautiously. See there, I'm going backwards. I'm trying to get my balance. The weight distribution, totally different on this side for some reason. So keep my fingertips on the mat here. I realise I'm not balancing so decently on this side. Just a light touch with the hands can keep you steady. But what's most important is this length through the spine to the top of my head, top of your head. Inhale, bring the hands back to center, and now we're heel toeing the legs together. Feet together, bend at the knees, come down for a yogic squat. This is one where our knees are not in line with our feet always, but they're close together and they're pointing forwards. And then inhale, add your arms, and your arms are reaching away from your shoulders, nice and strong. You'll feel this through the top of the back, quite a strong pose for the back. Exhale the hands to the mat, and we're going to come to sit. Place your feet on the mat, knees are bent. Going to come into a bit of a boat pose. Take the hands behind you. Inhale, raise the right leg and left leg lifts off the mat. Going to lean back a little and find Navasana, boat pose. My hands are just a little bit beyond my knees. You can also put them on the hamstrings. Stay long through your spine. You can straighten your legs if you like to do that for full Navasana. Gazing between the feet or between the knees. Bring the feet down. Extend the legs away to find staff pose. I take my fingers to the mat and I drag them back so they're just beyond my hips and my body's at a right angle. My feet point up to the sky. Gaze at your toes or between the toes. Nice and tall through the spine. Legs are active. Push them into the ground. Deep breathing here. Take the breath into the abdomen and out. Come out of that posture and let's come into, what am I going to do next? I sometimes wonder. Come into plank pose. So we're moving to the front of the mat. Put the feet at the back. Knees can be up or down in plank pose. Gazing at the mat, nice and strong through the core. Slowly turn to the right. Put the right hand in the middle of the mat and the knee is in the center. Take the top hand and reach it beyond the head for this side bend. I think it's a bit of a side plank. I can't remember the name of this pose, I'm sorry. But we're stretching from the left foot all the way through the hip up to the hand. Then we're going to lift that left leg off the ground for a half moon sort of pose. Top arm reaches, left arm lifts, left hand lifts. Release the pose, switch sides, take the left hand to the mat at the back, take the right leg to the mat, extend it far away, top arm reaches and then reaches beyond the head and you'll get a nice side bend through the ribs, through the hip, nice and gentle here, stretching. Inhale, the arm comes back to neutral and reaches up and the right leg lifts away from the ground. Flex the right ankle, nice and strong through the leg. Gazing forwards and then gently release it. Come back to all fours on the mat, tuck the toes. And we're going to slowly lower ourselves to the mat. Take your tummy to the mat. Hands are slightly under the shoulders. Inhale for low cobra. Try and keep your legs quite far apart from one another, maybe to the outer edge of the mat. In low cobra, see how much weight you want to lift off your hands. Can you lift the heel of the hands, the fingers? Exhale to release it, pop the arms down by the side and let all the muscles in the back, shoulders, legs, everywhere relaxes. You can pop a cheek down, you can rest on your forehead or on your chin, whatever's comfortable for your neck. Bring the hands back to the front, near the shoulders, keep the legs wide apart. Inhale, get high cobra. Come up as high as you can and you can walk your hands forwards so that they are straight. This propping up is a little bit easier for the arms. Gazing forward, stay long through the neck. I tuck my back toes here and I take a look over my left shoulder. Take a look over my right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale to lower and take the opposite cheek to the mat. If you had a cheek on the mat before, take the other one down. Let all the muscles in the back relax. And the glutes and the legs. Roll onto your side and interlock the fingers. If it's comfortable for your hands, you can also place them flat on the mat with the palms facing the mat under the thighs. We use the thighs and the pelvis to sort of weight them down. Inhale, left leg lifts. Lift from the hip, keep the leg straight, don't bend the knee. Point the toes, nice strong leg. Exhale, releasing it to the mat. Don't have to hold the breath in this pose at all. Try and lift on an inhale the right leg, and then gentle breathing. And then we'll release on your exhale. So we're lifting from the hip with this one. Let things relax momentarily. Keep your head nice and straight in this pose. Make sure you're comfy with the hands beneath the pelvis. It's a bit of a tricky one to get used to. Now on the inhale, both legs are going to lift, and then gentle breathing while we hold them. Hold them for as long as you feel comfortable. You don't have to push it. Yeah, I didn't hold that for very long at all. Release. Let all the muscles in the glutes, lower back, legs relax. Just relaxing is quite nice after those back bends. Gently turn yourself over. We're going to be having our backs on the mats. Knees are bent, feet are on the ground. We're still going to be doing some back bends. So set yourself up for bridge pose. If you can touch your heels with your longest finger, that's a good distance. Feet are parallel. Inhale to lift the pelvis away from the ground. You can leave your hands on the mat, pushing into the mat, or you can interlace the fingers and walk the shoulder blades towards one another. Think about space in the front of the body. Keep the chin away from the chest, staying long through the neck. And I hope if you're practicing this exhale to lower, you perhaps know that you need a gap between the back of the neck and the mat. There should always be a gap, and if you can't feel a gap, you might want to try rolling up a blanket so that you get some leverage, distance between the back of the neck and the mat, and you place this blanket underneath the shoulders and the upper torso, but not from the head to the torso, or else it just creates the same problem. If you want to take wheel pose, you can set up for wheel if you know how to do it. Pop the hands near the head, get a little bit up, then take a pause, park the head, and you should walk the hands a little bit closer and shuffle them. Try and keep the elbows, rather than splaying out, coming towards one another. Exhale to lower. If you take bridge, just take bridge as you normally do. And then when you're ready to exhale, exhale to lower down, extend the legs away from the body. And keeping long through the spine, we're just going to take the right leg up towards the sky, left leg stays exactly where it is. Interlace the fingers on the hamstring. Don't draw the leg towards you. This isn't a deep hamstring stretch. This is just for the spine. Release the leg. Inhale, left leg up. Hold it for a little bit. Keep your breath steady. Exhale to release it. Feet onto the mat, knees together, twist to the right, taking the knees over to the right side. Hands can be reaching away with the arms into a T position. If it's comfortable, look over your left shoulder, or turn the head over the left shoulder. Inhale through center, exhale, knees over to the left, gazing over the right hand, right shoulder. And of course, once you're on your back, you can close your eyes. You don't have to gaze, but just the direction of the head. Extend the legs away, arms overhead for a big long stretch, and then walk the heels off the mat to the right. Arms move over to the right. This banana pose, I think it's called banana asana or something. Big side bend. Walk the heels over center and then over to the left. Arms over to the left too. Side bending that side. Nice big breaths here for the side of the body. Come back to center. And getting comfortable. Bend the knees, feet are on the mat. Take the left leg up, the right leg up, and take happy baby. So holding on to the outside edges of the feet. Arms pass through the inside of the knees, not the outside. And so this helps with widening through the center. And play with your feet and legs however you need to at the minute. So if you want to draw one leg in and one leg extends and so forth, then do that. If you want to rock side to side to massage the lower back, then you do what you need to do. Gently cross the left ankle beyond the right knee. We're going to do reverse pigeon. Interlace your fingers on the hamstring of the right leg and gently rock side to side. Nice deep breath here. Deep breaths for the big leg muscles that really need a lot more breath than smaller muscles. Gently release it. Take your arms to a T and take the right leg over to the right. The foot of the left leg will rest on the floor for this supine twist. Coming back to center, we're going to unwrap the legs and take the right ankle beyond the left knee for reverse pigeon on this side. Interlace your fingers, rocking side to side, deep breathing. Really soothe out those big muscles and the lower back. Lower the legs a little bit, arms to a T, and twist over to the left with the legs. The right sole of the foot, the sole of the right foot will hopefully be aiming to touch the floor, might even sit on the floor. Inhale back to center. Take a block and on its lowest setting, sit it underneath the sacrum. We're going to lift the legs up for a little bit of a legs up the wall with a raised hip. I guess it's not really supported shoulder stand, but anyway, if you stack your joints, the ankles on top of the knees on top of the hips, use less energy in the legs. Arms out to the sides. Just let the legs be still. And maybe you have the sensations in them of cooling when you slowly lower them by bending at the knees. Maybe the blood rushes back into them and you feel warmth in them. Extend the legs away to find Shavasana. Let the feet roll open to the sides. Arms are away from the body. Finding stillness here for your Shavasana. According to Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, yoga is the path for the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind, the chitta vrittis, the waves of thoughts that we all have naturally. When we observe our thoughts and observe the chitta vrittis, the effects and the powers of the mind, we can start to notice beyond them our true selves, and that we aren't just our thoughts and our concepts. We are something else. Start to bring movement back into your fingers and your toes, wrists and ankles, taking a long inhale. Exhale, bring the knees a bit higher, bend, put the feet on the mat and turn to your right, pausing to thank yourself for having a practice this morning, taking a practice. Gently use your hands to rise. And if you can find a block to sit on, sit your sit bones on the edge of the brick, the block. You can use a cushion also, and then slip off it a little bit so that you really are just perching with the glutes over the back of the block. Sorts your spine out. If you can sit cross-legged or in lotus or half lotus, then do. If you need to put your legs in front of you and not use a block, then do. But find a steady way of sitting and rise up from the pelvis with a strong, straight spine. Rest your hands on your knees or thighs. And start to observe the breath by counting it, but not changing it. Just count your inhales. 1, 2, 3, and then if your exhale starts, you start counting your exhale. 1, 2, 3, and so on. And stick with that counting. Every time the mind wanders, bring it back to that simple act of counting. That's all you have to do, is count. Release the act of counting, and now just observe the texture of the air that enters the nose, and try and draw your attention to that sensation, that feeling, and focus on that feeling, the inhales and the exhales, without counting. And when thoughts arise, let them come, observe them, and then return to the texture of the air. Watch those thoughts go. And then another thought comes along. Just come back to the breath. Gently release your attention on the breathing and on the practice. Ground down through your body. You can gently blink your eyes open. Bring your hands together in prayer position. Take hands to forehead to remind us to have warm and loving thoughts. Hands to our mouth center to have warm and loving communication, and to our heart center to share this with all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you for taking part in the practice. Thank you for trying it out. That was a short meditation in watching our thoughts. Doesn't take long, and it's worth trying out. If you're new to meditation, trying out little bits of it, often at the end of a yoga practice. That's often fairly suitable time for a bit of meditation, especially if you're getting used to it. I hope you have a lovely day. Come and join me at a class. If you would like to attend one of these Hatha classes, they are on at Central Wellness in Lincoln on a Thursday at 9:30 in the morning. These times may change, of course, so check on their website at Central Wellness, and you can find me on Facebook. And you can message me if you would like to come to one of these classes. See you soon. Bye.